Yay! Yeah. Look at now. Look at this. Yeah. I want to go.
Hey, so me and Lydia are on our own for the whole weekend. Johan has taken the 3 older kids away for the weekend, and me and Lydia are staying at home. Taking Lydia anywhere makes everything a little bit harder, and since it's just for the weekend, me and her are staying at home. So first I found it a little bit daunting because Lydia's home on Wednesdays with me, and I sometimes find that a little bit long. She's not always very easy on her own. But then I thought, well, what? Yeah. So anyway, I thought I would try to make the most of it instead of finding it daunting, to think of some ways that we can make it a special time together. So I've been thinking of some ideas of what we can do together. So that's what this video will be about today. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Does it appear? Yay! Is that my turn? It's a pear, yay! Sit and shuffle these really well. Your turn.
Oh.
Your turn. This is a game I got at the option once, which Lydia really loves. It's a memory game. There you go. Goat. And away-o.
Oh.
No, not a pear.
Yeah.
Mummy's turn. So it is 10 to 9 in the evening, and it's been a nice quiet evening. Lydia goes to sleep around 7:30, and she's a really good sleeper, so I've been using the time to make audio children for our kids when they get back. They quite like listening to them, so if you have kids, maybe they'll enjoy listening to it too. This one's about putting God first. I would really love to be able to write stories for children, ones that bring across a lesson or explain a Bible verse, but all I get when I try to write a story is a headache. I've just got no imagination at all. So it's something I'd like to do, but I can't. But for me, making devotionals or like object lessons, for me that comes naturally and easily, but not writing stories. But there are other things I can do, like making these audio stories or making object lesson videos, things like that. They're handy if my kids are sick. I can put on the playlist and they can listen to the stories. Or if I'm sick and I can't read them a bedtime story, or if it's just really busy, every now and again they'll listen to 1 or 2 of these stories instead of me telling them or reading them a story before they go to bed. What a comfortable way to sleep. Excuse the mismatched pajamas. This is the only way we ever get pretty plaits done on Lydia's hair. Otherwise she cannot sit still at all. Though I just realised I won't be able to put the hearing aids on top of that plait. But never mind, we'll just leave them off today. One thing I find helpful for doing little girls' hair is to have a spray bottle and put a little bit of conditioner in and then fill it up with warm water. And then I spray the hair a little bit while I'm doing it, and it just helps it helps the hair to be more tidy when you've done it. Who's that? Did you see Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's it down?
Is it going up the tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
There. Wait. Down.
Get down. And sometimes the only way I get jobs done is just stick Lydia in her cot with some toys, and she plays better in a contained space than just wandering around the house getting into mischief. A Peter Rabbit. So it is Saturday morning at just past 10 o'clock, so I'm just quickly getting this washing done while Lydia's in her cot. And then I plan to go out to a town about 15 minutes from us, which I actually hardly ever go to. And so I have 2 little train tickets that somebody gave us once. So at the park there is a train, a little train for kids. So if that's going, I might take her for a ride on that. And also we'll probably get lunch while out too. And usually I don't like buying food when I have food at home. But somebody snuck some spare cash into my purse before he left. So I'm going to make the most of that, and we'll treat ourselves for lunch while we're out. We have to use Johan's work car because he took our big family car, which I don't think we're able to fit Lydia's bike or trike in there. So usually when we go out, she goes in the trike. She doesn't like to hold my hand when we're walking, and yet she's got no sense of danger at all, so I kind of need to hold her hand. So that's sometimes a little bit tricky. Like yesterday we were just coming home from school and she was walking and she wouldn't want to hold my hand, and so she would just sit down on the footpath and wouldn't get up, and so then I have to carry her. So that's sometimes a little bit tricky, but we'll see. And then this afternoon I plan to just do some jobs and maybe some cooking with Lydia. So Lydia saw the camera on the coffee table and wanted me to video her. Ready to go out, Lydia?
Yeah.
You want to go to the park?
Yeah.
Want to go on the train?
Yeah.
Yeah? You want to have something yummy to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Gonna be fun? Yeah?
Yeah.
Good girl.
Bye.
Oh, was that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? Poor Lydia kept doing the sign for scared when she's on the train. Look at all the duckies.
Oh, fly. Oh, oh, oh,
It's a bed. brought lunch home because it was so busy in town. Is that yummy, lad?
Yeah.
What are you doing? About to make some lemon muffins.
Wow! I think
Are you having Mummy make some muffins?
yeah.
Yeah, yummy.
Let me.
That's fun. And no, I don't usually bath around hogs.
Now.
No.
Ah.
What is it? Oh, Lydia's taking the vacuum cleaner off me. She wants to do it. Are you doing it for Mummy? Bit hard. Uh-oh, what are you doing? So it is Saturday evening and we had a nice day today. Going out went well. The only stressful part was when we were trying to get lunch because it was McDonald's was really packed, and so I was trying to decide whether to go inside and eat or not. So I decided to just go through the driveway and take it home. And as we were going through the driveway, Lydia figured out how to open her car door. So she was opening that while we were driving in the drive-through, and so I was able to pull it shut and lock it, and then she was able to unlock it and open it again. So that was a little bit stressful because I didn't want to get out in the middle of the drive-through to try to find the kitty lock, and also I haven't driven that car before, so that makes you a bit nervous too. But yeah, we had a nice day. Tomorrow's Sunday and I'm not planning to video anything tomorrow. Johan's coming home on Monday. On Friday at the Little Haven, I took along some of our photos from when Lydia was a baby. There was a lady there that we've known for a few years, but I've never really told her about Lydia's situation when she was born. And so the week before I'd been telling her a bit about that story, and so last week I took along our photo album and some other photos and was showing her. I was showing her the photos, and when I look back at those photos, like that year Lydia was in hospital like a total of 6 months in that year, and it was a really hard year and a really hard time. Even when things got back to normal and we were at home from the hospital, things still weren't normal. Like our life was changed. There were new changes that I didn't like. But when I was looking back at those photos, like it was a really special time. We have lots of good memories. There were lots of special things we did with the children when they were able to be with us at the hospital. They got to have their first train ride, and we went to museums and parks and things like that. And so even though it was a really hard time, we still have happy memories of that time, and special memories. Then a couple of years ago I had a miscarriage, and that was a very sad time, and it was a bit of a shock as well. That was the first time I had a miscarriage and I wasn't expecting it. And yeah, it was very sad, and yet when I look back at that time, it was also a special time as well. Well, the first day was really awful and we didn't know for sure what was happening, but the next day Johan was able to stay home with me and go with me to the scan, and we were also able to, because I needed to rest, he was able to find a few new videos that we'd never seen before that were really nice. And also the midwife said I should eat some chocolate. So Johan went to the supermarket and got some chocolate, and chocolate's one of my favourite treats. So that was really nice as well. So although it was a sad time, I still have special memories of that time. Like Johan was able to be with me and we were able to do things together. Then a couple of months later I had another miscarriage, my second miscarriage, and that was another sad and hard time, and yet it was also a special time too. Mum My mum came and stayed for a couple of days and was able to help me, and there are other things that people did for us, other things that made it a special time as well. So my challenge is to you, if you have a sad time or a hard time or a challenging time, to see what ways you can make the most of it. Because we have the choice to either make the worst of things or to make the most of things. So I just have one more thought to share. I wasn't going to do anything today. But this morning I read Lydia a Bible story at breakfast time out of this little children's Bible storybook. And it was a story about the widow at Zarephath and Elijah. And I really love this story. I really love the stories in the Bible where it talks about God taking something little and making it into enough. Like the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and those kind of stories. This is a story I really like, so I've read it many times. But it just really struck me this time when I read it that the lady, the widow, she didn't even have enough for herself, like for her own family. And God expected her to give something that she didn't even have enough of for herself. So I'm not saying we shouldn't care for our own family or anything like that. This lady was caring for her own family. When Elijah met her, she was gathering sticks so that she could feed her son. Like, she wasn't leaving her son dying at home and trying to go and help everybody else. But she was looking after him, and while she was doing that, she met Elijah. And God had sent Elijah to her for her to feed him. And she had a choice to make, whether she was going to give some of her food even when she didn't have enough for herself and her son, or whether to keep it for herself. And she chose to share what she had, even though it was so little. And yet God made it enough. God made it not run out, so that she didn't die even though she thought they were going to. Now, I can't imagine only having enough food for one more meal. And I think for all you guys too, you've never probably been in a situation like that where you only got one meal left, but sometimes we might feel like we don't have enough even for ourselves or for our own family. And yet would God ask us to give what we don't have enough of ourselves? There are different things, maybe time. Sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time just to look after my own family and keep on top of everything here. Would God really ask me to give up some of my time to help somebody else? Space. Maybe you live in a small house. Maybe you hardly have enough space for yourself and for your own family. Would God really expect you to be hospitable when you don't have enough space for your own family? Money. We might feel like we're just making ends meet. Would God expect us to give what we have, even though it might not seem enough for ourselves? Can be food. I remember one time when I'm pregnant, I get dizzy very easily when I'm standing up, and so baking is always difficult. So one time I had done a whole lot of baking, and I stuck it all in the freezer, and then I heard of somebody who was in hospital. Well, their child was in hospital. And so I straight away thought about all that bacon I had sitting there, thinking, should I give some of what I have to them? But then I thought, well, surely not, because for me it's difficult to do baking. Surely God wouldn't want me to give away, what I've made for my family. But then I thought, well, it's just sitting there, like I don't have to go to any extra effort to make it. And so I was kind of arguing with myself. In the end, I decided I would give it anyway, or at least some of it. And I think it was only an hour or two later, somebody knocked on our door with a plate full of baking for us. And it kind of taught me a lesson that we don't need to hoard everything for ourselves in order for God to provide for us. And just like that lady, might be other things too, like energy. You might hardly have enough energy to look after your own family. Would God expect you to use your energy to help other people as well? So I'm not saying we should neglect our own family to help others, but sometimes when we are looking after our own family, just like this lady was, sometimes things pop up, just like Elijah came along. And, God might put somebody on our heart or on our mind. Somebody might cross our path who needs help. Do we just ignore them because we're looking after our own family? Or should we be like this lady, and should we share what we have, even though it might not seem enough even for ourselves? Because when we do that, when it's God that's sent that person across our path, when we do care and share what we have with them, then God does make it enough. So that's just been what I've been thinking about today. So let's share what we have and see what God will do with it.